Yo, what is up, guys? It's your boy, Bob. I'm just making a little video today talking about the reasons why I stopped smoking weed and what my weed usage led up to, and all my reasons why. Like, I just I'm not using it currently. Um, I started smoking at around 17, senior year of high school. Yeah, it just started out with me and some friends buying some weed, and I mean, I really liked it. I liked it a lot. I love the feeling of being high. My first high was pretty good. Um, like I had a friend introduce it to me before, and then we bought some ourselves, and it was all the times I did it, it was good. Um, it wasn't until I got a cart that things kind of got out of hand, because that was when I would just start doing the wake and bakes. Like I was doing wake and bakes when I was 17, and it was just because at the time, like, high school was a joke to me. I was passing all my classes. I didn't really give a shit. I just went to school high and I just, like, fucking went with it. Um, and then COVID hit. I graduated at 2020 and, yeah, COVID hit. And that just made everything, like, compounded. Like, just being at home in my room. Dude, we're grabbing that cart. We're hitting that cart every single day. Wake and bake. No doubts about it. And I mean, it's already bad enough that I'm doing like, you know, I'm smoking like 3 times a day. Oh God, my throat hurts just talking about this. um, yeah, it's already bad enough that I'm smoking 3 times a day, but then like, when you smoke weed, your dopamine goes through the roof, and you want to continue that like you want to add on to that. Like we're dopamine seeking creatures. Like when the anticipation of something happens, it just you just want it. And dopamine just pushes you towards that. And during this time I was still watching porn, and I would say like my porn watching habit was really bad back then too, and coupled that with weed, and it just turned into like one of the worst phases of my life, to be honest. It's just like that pairing of like, you smoke weed, you eat, you smoke weed, you jerk off, watch porn. It's like that whole cycle is just awful. It's like it's like this thing that Andrew Huberman was talking about, like dopamine stacking, where if I don't smoke while I'm eating, then the food won't taste as good because I've made that association where food already is good to the human, but then I smoke on top of that to make it taste extra good. So when I get my favorite pizza again, I eat it just plain, it's not as good as when I have it, when I'm smoking. And it's like the same with porn too. Like you watch porn and you jerk off and it's not as good without getting high, so then you just start mixing it and everything just becomes smoking. And this doesn't help because like the people I was hanging out around with, like we all just went in all in on weed. We went all in on weed. It was just so like it was like the wave. Like we were part of that big wave in 2020 where we just took like weed was already getting popular, but I think like we solidified it. Like our year, like the 2002 kids, like we just made it the shit. And like I just remember on campus everywhere weed was just so normal. Like drinking is still a big thing, but I think this was like the when the like drinking didn't get unpopular until about like I think like 2 3 years ago, I'd say. So maybe it was just ramping up. Like we were just ramping up the weed culture. But yeah, man, I don't know. It's just like I wasted so much money on just like getting a cart every week or getting some bud every week, and I really let myself go during this time. Like all I just wanted to do was get high, and part of that was a lot of unsolved issues. I would go as far to say like unsolved traumas that I was dealing with throughout my life. Just my family issues, going to college, even like I didn't want to at the time. And throughout that whole experience, I just kept smoking, I kept smoking, and I'm pretty sure like I had like a panic attack or like some sort of like anxiety attack induced by weed when I was in college, my first semester. Like I think that's what happened because I was freaking out and I was calling my mom and I was just telling her how like I just hate it here. But I think I just hated myself at the time because I just all I did was smoke weed and cheat in my classes. And it's like and I'm like a few hours away from home, like 5 hours away from home. And like I think like through that whole experience I learned that like I'm I'm like I'm a home person for sure. Like I think I'll live in this state forever. I don't think there's like any reason for me to move. And I just I also learned that like I'm like purpose driven. I think well that's kind of stupid. All people are purpose driven. Like you have a like everyone's purpose driven. They're if you can find the purpose to do it, you'll do it. So, but it was just I don't know. I guess my purpose at the time was just to get as high as much as I could. That was pretty much the goal that I had in mind. And then so yeah, I go through my freshman year of college just constantly smoking inside my dorm room, stinking up the whole place, blah blah blah. I'm surprised I never got caught for that. But yeah, my RA was super chill. He would not give a shit that I smoked in my room. Yeah, I was very lucky. And I don't know, just like through that whole experience of college, I think I like robbed myself of like experience because I was just high 24/7. I just wouldn't give it up. Like there were just relationships that I missed. Just things I was just so unaware about. I was just so dulled out. Like it's like a dull knife. Like I felt like a dull knife. I wasn't cutting through anything. I was just barely making like a dent through like I don't know, just barely making a dent through life. And it wasn't until like that summer of my freshman year that like I started like just reflecting upon like what happened because like there was a situation with this one girl that I've always found attractive back when we went to high school and we saw each other at a party with a couple of friends and we ended up talking for the majority of that night but like I was high the whole fucking time. I was high, I was drunk, and I just didn't have the balls to just follow through and just say like I'm interested in you, I like you. And I think that's one of the things I used weed for back then too, because I thought it was just like I'm like it's like built up trauma from all the rejection I faced, you know, and like it was like already built up trauma from the rejections I faced back in high school, but at the same time it was like I had my first girlfriend and I fucked it up by like being too porn brained, like way too porn brained. Like I'm not just saying that just to say that. I really mean it. Like I was like pushing for sex way too hard, and and then now I'm, and then I used weed to chill me out. But then I just went into like a deeper goon state, the goon state. I went deeper into that shit, and then I get another chance with a girl that's even way more attractive, like way cuter, way hotter, just whatever it is, like, and I let that go. And it's one of those things that like after that happened, I went on a big downward spiral, just smoking all fucking day, just smoking, playing video games, jerking off to porn. And then like a really big incident happened where I made a big whoopsie at a friend's house and that big whoopsie just solidified me as like it basically just made me the clown of the town. essentially. Like after that moment, I lost a lot of confidence in myself, and I think I'm still recovering from that moment. And it didn't help because like I was after that moment, I went on like I started this journey of trying to quit weed and porn, and it was really bad. I was really toxic with it back then. Like when you're trying to quit weed and porn, bro, like to be honest with you, like the best thing you can do is just to like accept that you've given this up and don't even try to count days. Don't try to keep streaks. Don't do any of that stuff. Don't ever give yourself a chance to like come back to it because like when both are together, it's very hard to separate the two because those two like your brain it just responds to like novelty and pleasure very it remembers it for a long time. So when you just give it that reminder of like, oh, we smoke weed, but we also jerk off to porn. At least for me, that's like raps. It's raps. Like eventually, like even if you just like smoking and you say you just like smoking, one of these times you're gonna get caught off guard because when you are high, when you're high, you're in an altered state of mind. You're not completely yourself, and you're gonna make a decision that you might regret. And yeah, that's what was happening to me. I kept saying like, "Oh, I'm only gonna smoke weed. Oh yeah, that's fine. Do it again, do it again." Eventually, my who I am is not who I am anymore, and I go back to like the goon state, and I just pull up pull up the hub. You know, we just look at it, and then boom, it's over. And I went through like a love hate cycle of myself through that time, and it was even and like that next summer my sophomore summer I had more chances with girls and but this time it was just like absolutely cooked because like of the shit that I did at that friend's house. Like I just refused to let myself be attached to any of these girls that gave me the chance because I was just so scared of like well when people find out what I did these girls are it's going to be worse. Like it's genuinely going to be worse like what people will think about me. Like if I had any of these girls as my girlfriends, they'd instantly dump me. They just be so embarrassed to be with me. And I just robbed myself of that. I didn't I just had fun with them at that moment, but I never like continued with anything with them. I never followed up. And I think after that summer like when all those opportunities came through and then I just let it go, I I just moved out of my apartment with my friends and I kind of just went through this cycle of like smoking, jerking off, going back to it, you know, we kind of fell back into it again. And then I started hating school because like I wasn't living with any friends, so I was going to school, but I didn't even know why I was going to school. And I just wasn't enjoying it. I wasn't feeling it. So I didn't have any friends. I lived by myself, away from home, just smoking weed, playing video games, and I had this weird moment where like I was talking to kids, like God, this sounds so weird. Like these kids, they saw me and we just hung out. You know, I played with them, I hung out with them because they were the only social interaction I had, and I would talk to them about life, and we would just talk about shit. And no, those kids were cool, but no, I completely crashed out of school after that. I dropped out of school. I made that decision, and when that happened, my parents weren't happy, but I needed to do it. So we came back home, and my dad, he just randomly out of the blue said, "Hey, you want to come to Vietnam with me?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah, why not?" So I was away from home for a whole month in Vietnam. And during that whole month, it was like, cause like if you take weed to Vietnam, you're gonna be fucked. You know, if you especially you do it wrong and they catch you, oh, you're fucked. So I was not risking that. So we went to Vietnam with no weed, and with no weed, I discovered how easy it was to quit porn. And I think that was like the main driver for why like I don't use weed, or like now that I figured out is like why I don't use weed is because like I absolutely hate porn because of like the trauma it has caused me and like the way I was exposed to it. And I realize that when I smoke, I'm more inclined to watch porn. So it's just like one and one, where it's like, because like people keep saying like, oh yeah, you're just high, bro, you're just chilling, but like your state of mind is altered. You're changed, like your brain, the way it thinks, it's not the same as if it's sober. Like we can all acknowledge this. Like let's not pretend that it's like, oh, it's just getting high, bro. It's nothing. It's like it is something. You're doing something to your brain. You're changing it. And that was when I first discovered that like with no weed, the desire to quit porn is just so much easier. And this is when I really like kickstarted my journey of where like I let go of the shame of like keeping. Actually, no, this is the problem. Like the biggest problem I had was keeping track of days, was keeping streaks, was like recording streaks, and it's just like so stupid. Don't ever do that. It's a lifestyle change. Like you're there to do it forever, kind of thing. And but I went on a really good like streak at the time. I hate saying that, but it's whatever. But like that's how I would quantify it back then. So yeah, I don't know. We ended up going back to work. Like we're just working now, working full time. Got our money up. You know, doing this whole journey of lifting, working. Just being consistent. And yeah, that was a good run up until my next trip from to Vietnam, where it was just this weird thing where like this family friend of this person who worked with us was a family friend, and like they had like a niece or whatever, and she was really hot, like really hot, but like it's just one of those things where it's like I'm from American culture, like I'd say I'm an American at heart, and yeah, it just felt like she just wanted a green card. I don't know, and like my my state of mind was like I was thinking about sex way too much. Like I was idolizing sex way too much. It was just like my relationship with myself and like masturbation and just like sexual pleasure was just so offbeat at the time, very offbeat. Like I didn't know how to like I don't know, and like yeah, I came back from that trip and I just started letting go of everything. We let go of everything. Um, then I start hanging out with like people back from like high school and stuff, like a different crowd of people. Uh, but like at this time, it's just this feeling of like people know that I'm the clown that did the embarrassing thing, that did multiple embarrassing things throughout that period of like my college years. I'm not gonna talk about that on camera, but yeah, it's just like being around people who know who you are and what you've done. And I hung around them for like a little under a year, like 9, 10 months, I'd say. And yeah, I I made like a joke that ostracized myself from that whole group, and I just yeah, I kind of ruined it. To be honest with you, I ruined it. And I mean, at the same time though, it's just like I didn't want to be around people who knew me like that anymore. It's like part of it was like relief that like I didn't have to be around people I know or like who knew of me. But during that 9 month period, I was like going back to the same old vices, smoking weed, watching porn. We just kind of gave up on ourselves right there. And then somewhere down the line, I decided to go back to school in 2025. We did go back to school in spring. I went back on the horse, tried giving up weed. I messed up in the summer. But then what really happened, like that got me to finally like just stop, was the fact that like I'm now back in university. Like we're going to a nice university, and I mean, just trying to smoke and keep up with classes is just you're gonna fuck yourself over. Like you're gonna fail your classes if you do that kind of crap. And that was happening to me. I failed like I didn't fail my first exam, but I kind of like it wasn't the result I wanted. And then yeah, after that, I just went on the straight and narrow, and it's been like that since October. So we're coming up around like I don't know what month. I don't really care. I do kind of care though. I'm really proud of myself right now for this. Like this is the best I've ever been in a while. Um, I've given up pretty much. Like I gotta stop saying that word giving up. We didn't give up anything. We were free from it. Like we're off that. We're off that. We're free from it. Like I'm I, I'm free from weed. You know, it doesn't come. It's not compatible with the life that I want right now. Definitely like free from porn. Like that's just like I had a slip up here and there. Um, but it's not like complete like slip up. And what else? Yeah, no more nicotine because like I just realized how bad that is for your cardiovascular system. And then we just incorporate a little exercise and some good sleep, and I just feel I feel like the most complete I've been in a while. Like life just feels like easier to live. Like I have like a willingness to live. I have I have a willingness to live my life to the fullest right now, and it's like it's something like I thought I could never achieve during during this last summer. I was I almost gave up on myself by just submitting to weed and porn and all the pleasures that it gave me. It wasn't true pleasure if we're really being serious. Like I don't think I don't think humans were fulfilled by I don't think humans are fulfilled by like drugs and sex. Like spiritually, that's a definite no-no. Yeah, no, that's pretty much it. Thanks for listening. Have a nice day.